Wishmaster Plus is a family-owned and operated business offering plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services to the greater Rochester community. With over 40 years' experience, we take pride in the high quality service provided to every customer from every job. Choose Wishmaster Plus, not only for the top-rated, fully licensed crew, but for what sets them apart in the industry, their values and company culture.
Many companies say they're a family company. The term used a lot, especially when trying to recruit committed, confident people. But at Wishmeyer's Plumbing Plus, we really mean it. When I ask our team what makes us different and better, the response is always the same: the culture. Company gatherings like Breakfast with Santa, our crazy Halloween parties, and Red Wing meetings, even our monthly company dinners. Not only do we enjoy being together as a team, we get to know each other's families. This all translates to a great work environment and everyone going above and beyond for our clients. We stand true to our model of reliable quality service every day for every customer. My dad Joe started this company and has grown it by consistently doing what's right. His honesty and integrity show through with how he treats our clients and every member of the team who carry this mindset with them to every job. I think it really shows.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of 1330 Cancer Connect and our team, we want to present the corporate salute this year to Wishmeyer's Plumbing Plus. I want to thank you for everything you do for the community as well as our members.
Well, thank you very much. It's quite an honor to serve the team at Wishmeyer Plumbing Plus.
2022 has been a monumental year, thanks in large part to all of you. It's because of our 1330 champions, we continue serving teens and young adult members and their families through our peer support programs. It's because of our 1330 champions, we presented and informed healthcare providers and educators about the issues facing AYAs with cancer. It's because of our 1330 champions, we dedicated an entire month of April to raise awareness for AYA cancer, because AYAs are overlooked and underserved. It's because of our 1330 champions, we earned a $25,000 fundraising grant as part of our Community Thrives campaign this summer. We were the top fundraising organization in the country because of your generosity. You know, it's funny, 2022 has also brought this organization full circle with a cornerstone accomplishment. Oxford Languages Dictionary defines a circle as a round plane figure whose boundaries, the circumference, consist of points equidistant from a fixed point, the center. Melissa's Living Legacy Teen Cancer Foundation, known fondly as TLC, was created from a mother's promise made to her daughter. Forming TLC in 2001, Lauren's first project was to create a website that would help teens just like her daughter Melissa. Little did she know that teenslivingwithcancer.org, the first of its kind, would help spark the AYA cancer movement in the early 2000s. Because of it, Lauren was invited to showcase TLC's website in 2002 at a conference held by the Children's Oncology Group, an international collaborative uniting over 10,000 healthcare experts in childhood cancer at more than 200 leading cancer centers across the globe. Now fast forward to 2021. It was at Journeys last year that Lauren promised the development of a mobile app for teens and young adults. Well, as always, a promise made is a promise kept. This summer, 1330 to Go, the wellness app for AYAs with cancer was launched, and it houses an array of fitness and nutrition videos featuring our 1330 members geared to their unique needs. 1330, yeah, there we go. 1330 to Go caught the attention of healthcare providers across the country, prompting yet Another invitation to the Children's Oncology Group Conference in September to showcase the vital resource. 20 years later, full circle. The success of 2022 and beyond is because of 1330 champions like you. 87 cents of every dollar donated to 1330 Cancer Connect directly supports programs and services to help our teens and young adults. We are proud at all that we have accomplished, and as always, use your gifts wisely and with purpose. I think back to 2001, in that circle. The circle's boundaries were just small, with just a few people. But look around this room tonight, with 350 people here. The 2022 circle is much larger, and its mission is still the same. And make no mistake about that fixed point, that center, connecting all of us. It hasn't changed. It's Melissa and her story. Please help me welcome our founder and executive director, Lauren Spiker.
Wow, this is our 21st Journeys. Can you believe that? Holy cow, thank you so much. I want to start by just echoing Steve's thanks to, of course, our sponsors, especially the Wishmeyers. Can I have the Wishmeyers plumbing team please stand up and show us all who you are? Our volunteers, again, to echo Steve, but especially thanks to all of you. Sorry, this keeps cutting in and out. Thank you to all of you for coming to this really sold out room. So I'm just so grateful to all of you. You know, the adage of it taking a village, well, that certainly rings true for me. And I am just so fortunate to have a wonderful village of folks who make my job so much easier every single day. And I want to start by just thanking our board of directors, most of whom are here tonight. Thank you for sharing your time and your expertise with me, as well as with each other. Next, a great big shout out and big hug to our team, Club 1330, as we like to call ourselves. You've already met Steve, our Rochester Center manager, who helps with every single thing, and without Caroline Seberg, who is our content marketing specialist, and who makes us look so good every single day. And Claire McKenna, the newest member of our team, who after just a few short months, just has taken our peer support programs to a brand new level. So let's hear it for Claire and the entire team. You all really are the dream team, and I love working with you so much. And thank you for helping me at least pretend to be younger than I am. So you keep me feeling. Thank you so much, you guys. My deepest thanks go to my family and those like family, some of who have traveled from both coasts to be here tonight, and I'm so grateful to you guys for being here. But very special thanks to my husband, Doug, the guy who never says no to anything and always says yes. Especially tonight, those of you who got donuts so far, Doug made all those donut holders for us and rigged up this great set on stage. So the best days ever. So welcome, guys. But tonight, as in every journeys, tonight we are here to celebrate the strongest, most courageous, coolest people that I have ever had the honor to know. Can I have all of our teens and young adults out there please stand, as well as our parents whose children are here with us in spirit tonight. Everybody, you guys please stand. Let us recognize you. Your families to stand next to you and show them your love and appreciation, because without their support, your road would be so much more difficult. So show your families a little love out there too, please. Thanks to the generosity of so many of our 1330 champions whose generous donations allow us to invite all our families to come to Journeys as our guests. So thank you for all of you who sponsored our families tonight. Again, without all of you, we couldn't do anything of what we do every single day. Every teen and young adult I meet is a true champion. Just as Freddie Mercury wrote in that iconic song, "They keep fighting till the end." They are all champions in the world we know, but for those whose death makes us heartbroken, I'm sure there is a champion circle somewhere in another world we have yet to experience. Each year at Journeys, we remember our friends whose memory is forever etched in our hearts. This was a very sad year for us at 1330. This year, 4 of our friends died within 6 weeks of each other. Tonight, we remember with great love Mike Tarwacki, Serena Dennis, Courtney Ferreira Wilhelm, and Tori Hayes. Mike's parents were not able to be with us tonight. As I invite Serena, Courtney, and Tori's family to join me on stage as we light our candles in memory of our friends tonight, I would invite each of you to please pass the matchsticks at your table, and as we light the candle up here, please light your own votive from the center candle on your table. Steve, would you just get the lights?
I'm gonna go up there. Whoops. Are you gonna go up there? Mine went out.
Would you like Serena's candle?
Yeah. If we spark back up.
Kevin, thanks so much for being. Thank you, Anthony, for filling our room with music as well as our hearts. We appreciate it. The American novelist Edith Wharton once wrote, "There are two ways of spreading light. One, to be the candle, or to be the mirror reflecting it." She might have been talking about us here tonight. After 2 years of not being together, and I look out of this room tonight, the warmth of all of your candles, I wish you could see it from up there, feels especially warm tonight, reflecting the light of a very special girl. Many of you know her name. Many of you know her story. I tell it every year, and it never changes. Whether this is your first or your 21st time of hearing Melissa's story, I hope you will listen, because Melissa's story is the story of our past as well as our future. It's our North Star pointing the way, guiding us, helping us stay on course, inspiring everything we do. Melissa was our daughter, and even with my mother's hat off, I can say she was pretty special. Beautiful, smart, insightful, but at heart, she was just a 17-year-old girl wanting to do normal teenage things, hanging out with her friends, going to college, living the life she planned. But cancer had other plans, and they were different from hers. Despite 2 years of unsuccessful treatment, however, Melissa somehow figured out how to have a pretty extraordinary, albeit too short, life. She navigated those 2 years, however, with uncommon grace and unwavering courage. And it was just 3 nights before Melissa died. She and I were talking late one night, and I told her how proud I was of how she had lived her life, and I thanked her for everything I had learned from her. She said to me wisely that night, "A lot of people say those kinds of things to me, but I'm not sure," she said, "that everyone will do anything differently because of it." And then Melissa charged me with a task that would change the direction of my life, and maybe yours too. "If you've learned anything from me through all of this," she said, "do something with it. Something to make a difference, to make things better." Those were her exact words, and I honestly had no idea how I would keep the promise I made to her that night, but I promised anyway. And here we are, 22 years later, and her story is just as powerful tonight as it was then. So I will continue telling her story to anyone who wants to listen, whether for the first or the 21st time. It is in the telling and the retelling that a story lives in our hearts and in our minds and becomes part of our collective memory, the stuff of legend and lore. So tonight, with Melissa's story as context, I am honored to reflect some of her life light on a very special person who is doing exactly what Melissa asked of me, making a difference and making things better.
Thank you, Sandy. Hello.
Dr. Jeff Andolina is the Director of Pediatric Bone Marrow Transplantation at Gala Children's Hospital at Strong, and is most interested in the treatment and comprehensive care for children with leukemia and lymphoma, as well as other cancers and blood diseases. With strong interest in the adolescent and young adult population, Jeff has always been a 1330 champion. To his AYA patients, Dr. Andolina is more than a physician. He is a fierce advocate of theirs, always putting their best interests first. When asked for feedback about their healthcare teams, our AYAs always say the same thing. Dr. Andolina is the best. So please join me in congratulating Dr. Jeff Andolina for this year's Make a Difference Award. Jeff, please come on up.
Sorry, y'all, I'm clapping.
Thank you very much, Lauren. It's certainly an honor to be here. I'm very appreciative.
This gala is in memory of one of my children, my daughter, and 3 others, and it's something we do every year. It's very hard on us this year because me and my family next to me, we both lost our daughters a month apart, August and September.
I've learned so much about that. I've learned that teenagers, they won't directly lie to you, but they also won't really tell you the truth. They'll be very explicitly asked. And I've learned, like others have said up here, that, teenagers and young adults with cancer, they just want to be normal kids. They want to go out with their friends. They want to do normal things that we all want to do, and they don't want to be defined by their cancer. I'd really like to thank Lauren and Steve and everyone who worked so hard for 1330. We're really an amazing group. They do so much for our patients here in Rochester and Syracuse and other surrounding towns. Finally, I'd really like to thank all of you guys. It's really the support of the community and people that donate their time and effort and money to these causes. This is a wonderful cause that helps so many people. And finally, really to all of our current and former patients, it is so humbling to see all of these kids that that our team has cared for over the years. We are so proud of you. Michaela, Lacey, Alex, Lee, Gabi, really Giovanni. There's so many people I've run into here and your other families that it's really humbling. So thank you all so much, and have a wonderful rest of the night.
I didn't know Jeff when Melissa was sick, but had he been her doctor, she would also have said, I'm sure, Dr. Andolina is the best. So thank you again, Jeff. I really appreciate it. Have you ever noticed that some things just seem to go together? Like peanut butter and spaghetti and meatball. Okay, you got the hang of it. One more. How about rock and
Roll.
All right, last one. Doug and
Lauren.
All right, that's the best one, right? So you got the hang of it. Other things, though, just don't go together. You've all heard the expression, they're like water and oil. How about war and peace? Fire and ice? Cancer and comedy? Now that one just doesn't really go together. Cancer is scary with many unknowns and uncertainties, as we've shared already this evening, all too often heartbreakingly sad. But sometimes you just gotta laugh. Doug likes to tell the story of coming home from work one night, just weeks before Melissa died, and hearing Melissa and me laughing upstairs in her bedroom. When he came upstairs to see what was going on, we were sitting on the floor, one of her dresser drawers was open and her clothes were strewn all over the place. Bunched up at the bottom of her drawer was this old t-shirt from a family trip years before, and I had just said, in the best of situations, you would never wear this again. And there we were together, howling with laughter at the absurdity of it all. And then there was the beautiful spring day, when out of the blue, Melissa asked me what we were going to do with her ashes. Well, I wasn't exactly prepared for her to ask me that question, but I had thought about it. Knowing that she thought cemeteries were very lonely places, and we had just returned from a wonderful last family vacation to the Grand Canyon, I suggested, well, why don't we go back to the Grand Canyon where we were the last time all together, and we had such a wonderful time, and we spread you over the expanse. And she said, I don't think that's such a good idea. And I said, come. And she said, well, remember the day we were there? It was really windy. And she said, it would just be so gross if my ashes flew all over you. How we laughed together at the most tragic thing I had ever experienced. We laugh a lot at 1330 Cancer Connect, and it often surprises people. I like to tell this real story. One of our members had just been diagnosed about 6 months prior, and it was his first time coming to the center. He came into our center with all of his parents, his mom, his dad, his step-parents, understandably a little nervous, right? Steve invited him to join 6 other members who were gathered in the program room, and I took all parents into our parents' room. After a brief history of their son's diagnosis, right, the conversation turned to things like his treatment protocol, side effects, how he was dealing with it, that kind of stuff. All relatively safe topics. We hadn't gotten yet to the hard things like how they were feeling as parents, their fears, their hopes, their dreams for their son. And suddenly, the boy's dad said, everybody, be quiet for a minute and listen. To which I said, listen to what? He said, listen to all the kids in the other room. They're all laughing. And with tears in his eyes, he said to me, that's the first time I've heard my son laugh since he was diagnosed. 3 short stories about young people laughing in the face of cancer. Their stories and so many more are just a bit of the larger story of adolescent and young adult cancer. Each time I tell their story, it becomes more real for those listening. No longer are we just relating data about a dreaded disease, but we're putting a face, a young person's face, on a health crisis affecting 90,000 teens and young adults each year in the United States. That's one young person every 6 minutes who hears the words, "You have cancer." So how many of you, changing gears just a little bit, how many of you have watched Game of Thrones? Let me just see show hands. Okay, that looks like about at least half of you. I'm wondering for how many like me, Tyrion Lannister was your favorite character? Yeah? Okay. If you're not a Game of Thrones fan, Tyrion Lannister is a wise, witty, self-described imp whose influence across the Seven Kingdoms was far greater than his short stature might suggest. In the final episode of this epic series, the burning question is, who will now rule the realm? There are many candidates, some more worthy than others, but Tyrion Lannister points to the least expected character. Bran Stark, also known as Bran the Broken, the crippled boy who fell from a tower and lived and somehow, I still haven't figured it out, gained the power to see the future through the lens of the past. He is the keeper of the Keepers of the Kingdom's stories. His are the memories of joys and defeat, victory and sorrows. He remembers it all. And standing before the Great Council, Tyrion Lannister makes a compelling argument in support of his choice. What unites people, he asks? Gold, flags, armies? No, it's stories, he declares. There's nothing in the world more powerful than a good story, he continues. Nothing can stop it. No enemy can defeat it. And so it is with our stories. Not even cancer can steal the stories of courage and resilience, self-determination and laughter in the face of incredible adversity that define the teens and young adults I have had the privilege of knowing and loving for so many years. They are both the authors and the keepers of our stories. Their stories must continue to be told by all of us who are better for having heard them. As long as there are people like us who want to listen, their stories will live forever. It is their stories that unite us as we continue to fight for them. It is the story of these amazing young people that will inspire the future innovations as we strive for a cancer-free world. Their story has not been told enough, so we must. Tell the stories you hear tonight. Become a teller of stories with passion enough that people will retell the story and tell it again, over and over again. Be like them. All the incredible young people you saw stand just a few minutes ago, follow their lead. And when life gets tough, remember, sometimes you just gotta laugh. Thank you, everybody.
I like this one better. Planning for next year's journeys starts right after production ends. I'm not kidding. I'm going to walk in the center on Monday. Guaranteed. Walk in the center on Monday morning, and within the first 10 minutes of us debriefing tonight, Lauren's gonna say, well, what are we gonna do next year? And it starts. Because the last few years have been so different and hard with COVID, we thought it would be a good time to lift our spirits and take a humorous look at a very unfunny subject. We were fortunate enough to meet Mark Ippolito, the Director of Operations at the Comedy in Carlson, a well-known local comedy club with whom we shared an idea. He then introduced us to Todd Youngman, who asked, how about doing stand-up? Never thought our kids would go for it, but here we are. 4 of our young adults worked with Todd over the last 2 months to tell their bits of their own story in their own way, and obviously to make you laugh. Special thanks to Mark for letting us rehearse on stage at Comedy at Carlson. As well as Todd as well as Todd for, making our young adults feel confident and safe. And now for the highlight of the evening, not me, not Lauren. Please laugh and take us seriously all at the same time. Enjoy the show.
It's sometimes you just gotta laugh. With special guest comedian Todd Youngman. It's starring Michaela D. Kelly Faye. Kate Towers. And Beach Hopkins. Now, give it up for Todd Youngman.
How's everybody doing tonight? Is this mic on? Paperclip holding the mic on. That's nice. All right, it's a nice touch. Good to see you guys all out here. Look, we're mask free. If some of you have them on, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you. That's fine. But I'll tell you what, we were doing comedy for a long time, and people were wearing masks, and it was very awkward. It's good to see your smiling faces, and give it up for yourselves for being out here tonight. We really appreciate it very much. Yeah, it's nice to get. You guys remember when that mask mandate went down? They're like, yeah, go ahead, you can go out, take your mask off, it's fine, go ahead, do it. I remember when it happened, I'm like, really, we just go out and do it? You trained us for 1.5 years to wear these things, and now we can just go out. And I remember when it happened, I'm like, I'm gonna go try it out. I'm gonna go over to that Pittsburgh Wegmans and give it a shot and see how that goes. Thought that would be a good testing ground. So I get there, I'm in my car, I'm psyching myself up, I'm like, I'm going in without a mask, I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it. Left the mask on my car seat, I get out, and just as I start walking towards the building, there's a guy walking out with a mask on, looking right at me. So he's gonna say one of two things, right? He's either gonna say he recognizes me from my comedy career, this never happens, never. Or he's just gonna give me a whole list of reasons why I should be wearing a mask. But he kept walking, he got closer and closer, and he whipped off his mask and he goes, I am so sorry to keep staring at you, but you look just like a man I dated in college. That wasn't me. But you guys are here for a big night. We got 4 great comedians back here, and I want you to give a round of applause for them. Right now, they're going to be out there shortly after me. I watched a lot of TV during the lockdown, as I'm sure a lot of you did. It seemed like the HGTV network was on in my house 24/7. And I'll tell you what, it's the one channel I'll sit there and physically give the finger to when I watch it, guys. I can't do it. And I'll tell you why, we were watching it maybe Christmas time last year, right? They had a newlywed couple on, they're like 23-ish, 24. They got the world ahead of them, and they had a $2.3 million budget for a summer home. You guys seem okay with that. Let me say that again. 23, 24, a $2.3 million budget for a summer home, and I'm still at home rinsing out and reusing Ziploc baggies. And somehow they have that budget. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. And the occupations never match up with their budget either. It's always like, hi, I'm Carol. I make jewelry out of macaroni and bottle caps. And my husband Gary's in a mariachi band. Our budget? Oh, $2.3 million. Doesn't make sense. And my neighbor Pam, she's always drunk. I call her Boozy Pam. She loves HGTV. It's like her thing. She always says, she comes over, I love HGTV. HGTV is my porn. I love HGTV. I'm like, shut up, Pam. That doesn't even make sense. The only way HGTV and porn are alike is that they both give women unlikely expectations of skills the average guy should have, but just doesn't. That's it. That's the only correlation. But there's a show on it, it's my guilty pleasure, I gotta admit, it's called House Hunters, and I do like watching this show because I love watching these idiots walk into houses. They walk into houses like they've never been in a house before. They walk in, they're like,
He's quite funny.
this place, this is great. Look, there's a floor, we could walk on that, that's great. The ceiling, I like that, that'll come in handy, the ceiling. No, look, here's an outlet, we can plug our lamp in there, that's great, I love that, that's cool. And then they can always see themselves doing shit in different rooms, they're like, oh my God, you know what I could see me doing in here? I could see me crafting in here, couldn't you see me crafting? Oh my gosh, you are such a good crafter. I love your crafting, and I love you, and I love you too. And then they go out on a deck, they're like, oh my God, look at this deck. It's made of wood, that'll come in handy. Love that. There's a tree, there's skies over there, and we can put a table and a grill, and oh my gosh, you know what? I could see us eating cheese and drinking wine out here, couldn't you? When we met, we were eating cheese and drinking wine. I know, I love you, and I love you too, and that's where that comes in, right there. I can't take the bait. It's too phony, it's too produced. And the big excitement happens when they walk into that kitchen. That's where it happens, the excitement. They walk in there, they're like, would you look at this kitchen? Look, the cabinetry is white. I love white cabinets. There's an island. We can eat on that with our family. I love our family. And oh, look, here's a refrigerator that'll keep the food fresh. That'll come in handy. I love that. And you know what I really love? You know what I really love about this? I love this open floor plan. I love the open floor plan. You know why I love the open floor plan? I love it because when we entertain, I can keep an eye on the kids when we entertain. I want to keep an eye on your kids. When you're, you guys, I grew up in the 70s. When my parents entertained, they banished us to the basement. They're like, hey, come here, listen, gather around. Listen, tonight our friends are coming over, all right? Tonight your friend, the sump pump, that's your friend. Right here. This little gurgling pit in the ground. That's your buddy for like the next 5 or 6 hours, because we're going to be upstairs getting hammered. We're getting hammered. We're getting plowed. Because we want to forget about you. We don't even like you. So stay down there. Don't even come up, because if you come up, we're going to blow cigarette smoke right in your face. Just relax, and we might even tap one out on your forehead. It's an extra laugh. Then you go to school on Monday and your teacher will go, hey, what happened here? And you'll tell her and she'll go, no, you probably deserved it, and walk away from you. Nobody will care. I love comparing things like from when I was growing up to now because I'm old and cranky, but that's what I do. Like, I love how moms, they feed their kids everything like organic, gluten-free, no sugars, no dyes. Not back when I was growing up. They gave us all the crap to eat. Like, in fact, I grew up on a piece of garbage meat called cube steak. Anybody remember cube steak? Some of you do. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to describe it. All it was a big, fatty, meshy piece of meat, had zero nutritional value, and its sole purpose was to practice chewing. That's it. You just chew it. Just chew it. And you couldn't leave the table till you finished chewing and swallowing. They'd be like, eat that meat, that's good meat. Like, this is good meat? Would you lose your job again? What's going on? What is that? I remember when you would cook on the little Weber charcoal grill back then, my dad would make burgers that were like this thick, right? The meat was 95% fat, and the other 5% was lighter fluid, right? It was nice, toxic beef burgers. And that's why half my generation's eating tree bark now to clean our butts out, because we're all clogged up with toxic beef from the 70s and 80s. I remember numerous hours of unsupervised jarts in the backyard. Anybody remember jarts? Those of you who don't know, it was a yard game. It was basically a weapon disguised as a toy. That's all it was.
Yes, it was.
It was a 14-inch metal rod, had a point on one end, little colorful fins on the other, to attract the children. And it came with a little hula hoop you set out in the yard about, 15 yards away. And your sole purpose was just to take this little weapon toy, set it sailing through the yard, and try and get it into the center of that hula hoop. But that was boring for me and my brothers. I was like 7 and they were, 12 and 13. So what do you do to up the ante a little bit? You take the 7-year-old, put him in the center of the hula hoop, Let's see how close you can come without putting it through my skull. I remember when I was like 7, my mom would write notes to the pharmacist that said I could pick up a carton of cigarettes and her Valium and put me on my bike and send me on my way. You guys, I was like her drug mule at age 7, just running drugs. So she could deal with me. You guys are fun. You guys having fun? I'm gonna get out of here in a minute, but before I do, I just want to test you guys here first. By round of applause, where is everybody who loves spring and summer? Where are my spring, summer? That's not you raising your hand, but I said round of applause. Okay.
Yes, he's hilarious.
Where's my fall, winter people? Are any of you here? Those are my people. I love those people. Not a fan of summer. I was done with summer back in June, and for some reason it's back this weekend, and I'm not happy. All right, settle down. I'm gonna give you a couple reasons why I don't like summer. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you won't. Let's do it. The first reason is it's the time of year people will start wearing sandals and flip-flops. Now, ladies, you're fine. You take care of your feet, you take care of your nails, you smell nice. Guys, we have no business wearing sandals and flip-flops, right? 9 times out of 10, our toenails look like corn chips. They look like corn chips. There's always one that hangs over the end of the flip-flop or sandal. Looks like a broken branch. Then when we walk, it drags and shoots sparks off the ground. Cover it up. Nobody wants to see it. And it's not keeping you that much cooler. Cover it up. And the other reason is I don't like to sweat. I hate sweating. Like, I don't mind if I'm working in the yard, going for a run. You know, fine, I sweat. I'm talking about doing nothing but being a human being, standing still and brewing soup in my pants on an 85-degree day. You know what I'm talking about? You gotta do a lot of this. Ladies know too, don't act like you don't. Yeah. Then you tell a buddy, you're like, hey, I sweat a lot down here. And your buddy will tell you, you know what you do? You powder it. Just put some powder down there. It's refreshing, I do it every day. Guys, I'm here to tell you right now, you don't powder this area when it's 85 and humid, because if you do, throw on your pants, walk away, 5 minutes later, a pancake will fall right out of your pants, right on the ground. Then your buddy will be like, hey, you powdered? Like, yeah, I powdered. Sure. And now I'm making delicious breakfast treats in my pants. Guys, I'm Todd Millman, that's my time. Thank you very much. Before I bring these guys out, I want to just say I am so happy to have been a part of this. It really has.
You can't say he wasn't hilarious.
Stand-up comedy for 12 years now, and I got into it on a dare from a therapist. He dared me to go do it, and here I am 12 years later. And I always said to myself that if I do get somewhere comedy-wise, I'd always want to give back, especially to organizations like this. And sorry if I get that emotional, but it has been absolutely incredible to work with these 4, and I know you guys are going to be blown away by what they put together. So, are you ready for your first performer?
Hello, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Well, as Todd said, my name is Michaela, so don't forget that. And I am actually 11 years cancer-free. I know what you're thinking. Michaela, how did you do it? Here's my secret. I'm super strong. You see, that's one of those cancer catchphrases, I like to call them, where your family and friends say it to you. It's super cliche, it really doesn't mean anything, but it gets you through. It's like, oh, Michaela, you're so strong. You're doing so great. Guys, have you seen anyone with cancer? Anyone with cancer recently? Yeah, because bald, pasty, and full of poison? Really not what I would equate to as strong, but my cancer journey.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, had to answer my phone.
I went to school for school for like what? Like 10,000 years? I'm sure there's like 6 other of you out here that done it. Really not.
She was one of my daughter's friends. All these people that come up are friends. They all had cancer with my daughter. They're still here.
I do have a
And honoring my
little-
daughter and 3 others that passed away in 6 weeks' time together.
Here's cancer free. You're not really as interesting anymore. So we kicked me in the curb. Yeah. Told me to find a new doctor. I also moved out of the state. But like I said, my cancer journey, irrelevant details. Who cares? So there I was in Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma. In 2020. You guys remember that? Yeah. Really popular year for doctors. Yeah, well, I found one. Things start going pretty normal, you know, the nurse is doing her normal thing, click-clacking it away. She's like, oh, any allergies that you're aware of? No. Any daily medications that you take? What history you should be aware of? Hodgkin's lymphoma. They freak out, like, yes, it does grow back. You can be super strong, long hair, beautiful, and still have had cancer. Yikes.
My daughter was just like them, so full of light,
Hey, doctor's coming in soon.
always trying to find the best in it.
Great, everything's gonna go normal. No. Do you guys remember when I said, oh, Oklahoma? Yeah, it couldn't have been normal. Why did I think that was gonna be a thing? So the doctor walks in, cowboy boots, a nice pair of Catholic Wrangler jeans, you know, out on the ranch. A good, bad, and ugly scene carved into it, you know, a little chase scene going on there. Yeah, it's great. And he's wearing a flannel button-up. And he really committed to the role. He had a cowboy hat on. I literally had a cowboy doctor. You could have told me, honestly, this was my Make-A-Wish Part 2, and I was meeting the pandemic's biggest celebrity, the Tiger King. I would have believed it, 100%. I know what you're thinking. Michaela, you were in Oklahoma. What did you expect to happen? I don't know, didn't expect Dr. Angelina to walk in a Yankees uniform holding a bacon, egg, and cheese the first time I saw her. But here's the thing, I'm sitting there with the Tiger King and I'm thinking, what's going on? He throws out one of those cancer catchphrases. Yeah, the Tiger King knows those too. He goes, wow, Michaela, 11 years cancer free. You work so Guys, I'm gonna like destroy the medical field right now. I'm not.
Yes, ma'am, August 13th, 2022.
You literally have to do nothing to
She was 24 years old.
It's not like every morning, you know, my alarm goes off 8 o'clock. Oh, God, why? And I sit there from 8 to 8:15 and contemplate every life decision I've ever made and hope.
Yeah, I missed all the crying, thank goodness. Well, I think Sandy's seen it.
8:15 to 8:30, make a healthy, nutritious breakfast, best part of the day. And then 8:30 to 8:31, tell your brain body, don't get cancer, don't get cancer, don't get cancer. Oh, dear God, don't get cancer. And then that's it. I know what you're thinking, Michaela. 1 minute, whole body. No cancer? Yeah, I paid for the premium discharge package. I was really not okay with waiting the normal hour and a half that you have to do that for. But realistically, honestly, it's doctors like Dr. Angelina, it's groups like this that kind of get you through it. But if anyone is looking for a discount on those premium discharge packages, I do have a referral link, so you can come see me after the show. Thank you so much, guys.
I love you too, Sandy.
That's pretty amazing, right? All right, let's get that applause back up. Let's go. You ready?
anyone here. Cancer's fun, huh? Okay. All right, so I'll tell you a little bit about my story. Earlier this year, I found a lump in my boob and went to go get it checked out. They put me in the panini press and they said, yes, it is cancer. Scooped out those tumors with a melon baller and sucked out some of my eggs for fertility treatment. Fun stuff so far, right? And I'm glad to have frozen eggs. I am. But, you know, sometimes I see screaming, crying, pooping, puking children, and I think, maybe I'll let those eggs just get a little freezer. I don't know about that. And then it was like chemo, which is responsible for this lovely hairstyle. Guys, I like this girl. This is nice. But people really like to comment on the hairstyle they do. So my favorite was from a Starbucks barista. She opened the drive-thru window and she looked at me and she goes, wow, you look so cool. And I was like, thanks, it's cancer. She was like, well, you're killing it. I was like, actually, it's killing me. Tomatoes, tomato. Okay. And I appreciate her comment, I do. But like, guys, I'm not like cool or hyper trendy. I'm just trying not to die. That's it. That's all. And my hair is growing back, which is really nice. But honestly, I'm really pissed off. So I was told I would lose all of my body hair, and my leg hair never stopped growing. Like, I am too lazy to shave these 8-foot long legs. That was not the deal. I want a refund. I'm pissed. You know, I was pissed off when I got my pathology report back for my tumors. This is what it said. Let me just tell you. It said left breast, cancer, right? Okay. Bunch of medical jargon. At the very bottom, it said right breast, unremarkable. Excuse me? Like, you've seen it, like on a big screen and everything, and like that's what we're gonna say. Okay. Anyway.
Sorry, y'all, my hand's tired.
I'm too old for this. Damn. Everyone's always like, oh, cancer, but you're so young. Oh. Guys, I'm too old. I'll be 30 next month, so I'll be kicked out of this room. So, I'm too old to make a wish. I'm not gonna be in any St. Jude's commercials or anything. So, I don't get any free stuff. I don't get any perks that the kids get. I just get cancer. That's it. That's all I get. And breast cancer. Please. Not even a cool cancer. You know? I mean, breast cancer is just so common. It is. You know, like everyone and their mother has it. You know? It's everywhere. Everyone's doing it. It's the basic bitch cancer. It is. Oh. Man, it's everywhere it is. And, you know, especially in October, you know, you see pink ribbons everywhere. I was at Walgreens the other month, I guess, you know, and, you know, there's a little pink ribbon at the checkout, and the cashier's like, hey, do you want to donate to breast cancer awareness? And I was like, well, no thanks, I'm aware. So, you know, okay, I kind of lied. If I'm being real honest, guys, there is one benefit to cancer. And that is that I can get out of anything, anytime, with the cancer card. If I don't want to do something, I whip this bad boy out, and guess what? I don't have to do it. Whatever it is, I don't have to do it. It's fine.
My daughter used her cancer card a lot.
In my favor right now, you guys aren't gonna be mean to me. You're not gonna like be like, oh, like you suck. You're not gonna do that because cancer. Like, you don't want the bald girl with cancer crying on stage. That's not what you want for your night. It's just not, you know? Gosh, it's not. it's not. And, I could blow this whole performance though. I bet you guys would still clap. Okay, so I have to tell you guys, I'm having a double mastectomy coming up. Gotta get that off my chest.
Mic drop.
Should be fun, yeah. And I am trying to be positive about the whole thing, I am, so my take on it is, I know I have killer boobs. But, who needs them with an ass like this?
We're gonna do a lot of clapping tonight, so get ready. So let's get the applause back up. Give it up for Jake Tower. Jake Tower,
Thank you.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming out tonight. So, I know what you're all thinking, finally, a male comedian. But I'll tell you what, we all have the same amount of balls it takes to get up here. Zip. Because I have the manliest of cancers. Knock knock. I don't know, I'm not home. Sorry, that was a dad joke. I've been practicing. One day, I might have a dad. See, not feeling bad about my cancer now, are you? So, in the beginning of my cancer journey, my boys wanted to cheer me up. They came over, wanted to take me out of town, meet ladies, but not talk to them because super shy boys. I looked in the mirror. I was bald like Uncle Fester. We were in the same sweatpants for the last 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, and a bag of urine. So I looked at it, I was like, yeah, what lady would not like unlimited lemonade? So, your treatment's going well when your doctor says it might be time to make a plan of death. So I sat down with the counselor. I didn't die, by the way. I'm still here. Now we go.
Thank God.
So I sat down with a counselor, and we were going through the plans, and I found one. You know those memorial benches you see everywhere you go? The people's names on them? I like the ideal, but I really don't like people that much. So I figured I'd have it designed with screws sticking up just a little bit. So every time they sit down, they get jolted back up. And then they'll turn around in memory of Jake Tower. As in life, as in death, a little bit of a prick. My whole life, people have already asked, where's your accent from? You sound different. Now, I just tell them, I got neutered. They stop asking after that. As I was laying in my hospital bed getting my treatments, I had a thought that most cancer patients have. Why me? What causes? Did I do something? One of those nights, 2019, the president got on. He was trying to get more funding for coal mines. And one of his talking points really stuck with me. He said that the sound that windmills make cause cancer. As a drinker, I grew up next to a windmill. So my whole childhood listening to that whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Wasn't really good for my health. So I started staying up way past midnight, 2 or 3 in the morning, listening to infomercials, written for my lawsuit bandwagon to jump on. So far, I'm the only guy that got cancer from renewable energy. Soon, I think there'll be more. Or not. But it turns out, it wasn't just my president, he was my doctor. You guys have been great, thanks.
Met with these guys, the assignment was just come back with a story, some stories, write them down, and that's what they did. They came to me with stories. I just helped them structure this stuff, and that's it. They wrote all this stuff. Isn't it amazing? Yeah. So keep that applause going. Let's go. Keep it going. Let's give it up for our final comedian, Bruce Hopkins.
So I'm Mish, and I was diagnosed with cancer when I was in college, and do you hear that? I thought it was a windmill, don't worry, we're safe. But anyway, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
Mish was on stage, was one of my daughter's best friends.
Ironic, you go to college to help people and then you end up getting cancer. I guess that's how it works. But I, just picture it. It was my first semester of nursing school, was my first clinical. I was getting so excited, and then my body decided to keel over and need emergency surgery. So we had this policy in nursing school that if you miss clinical, you have to write a research paper. So I thought, because I saw the inside of the OR, that I would get extra credit. Right. So I had a very interesting perspective going from nursing student to patient, back to nursing student to nurse, whatever, you get it. And I just remember them wheeling me into the operating room and saying, okay, get on the table. What? Okay, get on the table. Excuse me. Put me out, put me out, put me out. You have a lot to work on. We are strong. Anyway, so speaking of operations, I have this new weight loss program. It's called organ removal. You should try it. Your weight stays off. Way better than those yo-yo diets that you see on TV. I'm telling you. But, so back to the medical field, and I love the medical field. Obviously, I am a nurse right now, but in the audience who's a medical provider, because holy cow, we've been through a lot. But I struggle sometimes with our logic. The medical field tends to compare really gross things with edible things. I don't know if you've noticed that, heard it before, right? So when I had keeled over and I had a tumor, they said, your tumor is the size of a grapefruit. Ew. I don't even like grapefruit. Why couldn't it have been a pomegranate, mango, you ever smell coconut? I take that, but a grapefruit. But come on, what is with this comparison? Imagine walking into Wegmans and a manager comes up to you and says, yo, look at these grapefruit, they look like tumors. That would not sell it to me. When I was in Wegmans the other day, I tried to buy a bunch of apples with my insurance card and they got declined. Ghost file will never be the same. But when we talk about our cancer journey, we all have friends and family that have been with us, and I feel like I guess I wish I had a better way of updating my followers on social media, all of my friends and family. You know, a lot of times right now, I see my friends, we're at the age where, you know, they're posting about their pregnancy saying, oh, my baby's the size of an avocado. And I kind of just wanted to be like, my tumor's the size of a grapefruit. Right. I would have had way more followers. I'm thinking, I might have gotten flagged on Facebook. But yeah, so speaking of pregnancy, the most frequent question I get asked, like it's anyone's business, but the most frequent question I get asked is, can you get pregnant? Is that still a thing? And you know, I'm trying. But my fiance Emily isn't pregnant either.
That's right.
And I think we're doing it wrong.
Let's put him back out, wasn't that great?
Pretty good for 2 months. All right, now it is time for our mobile paddle race, so I want to give everybody a chance to take out your smartphones. Yes, you can take out your phones and interrupt us right now. And what we want you to do, there's instructions at your table. Please.
All right, yeah. This is the silent auction and donation time. I'm gonna cut the film. Thank you everybody for coming and watching. This is again, this is the 1330 Journeys annual cancer gala. This year they honored my daughter and 3 others that had passed away. Great time.
Again for everybody.
Thank you again,
on stage here.
everybody. We're gonna give one more clap.
All right.
Thank you everybody
Make sure
and God
that
bless.
A lot of you
Talk
are
to you
logged in
soon.
with our bits, but we want to make sure that you take the time now to get ready for our mobile paddle race. We're going to be doing this shortly, and Todd's going to give you some instructions, and we're going to do some asks here on stage.